Alright guys, we need to put together a winner for our next cartridge release. Any ideas? Well, Asteroids is a classic, we could do that. Or maybe Space Invaders. Everybody loves Space Invaders. Or how about Tetris? It's only the most played video game of all time. Well, I was thinking something along the lines of Kaboom. I mean, those games are super fun. Yeah, these are all good things. What about a combo? Welcome to Mike's Gaming Gala, I'm Mike, and this week we're looking at All Good Things for the Vectrex, published by Packrat Video Games. I got my copy from Good Deal Games, Homebrew Heaven. All Good Things comes in a universal plastic case with an insert that includes all of the instructions and a repurposed cartridge. In this one, we're reaching way back into the history of Vectrex homebrews, going all the way back to 1996. This game is older than some of my viewers. That said, there's a lot of fun to be had here, so let's take a look. Starting up your console, and after the splash screen, we're given title screens that we can rotate through in order to play one of 4 different games that are versions of classics from back in the day. Here we have Rockeroids, More Invaders, Vectrex, and Spike's Water Balloons. There's also a hidden puzzle game on the cart. Can you find it? 'Cause I didn't. Comment below if you know how to get to it. Let's start with Rockeroids, which is a port of the classic Asteroids. The built-in game on the Vectrex is Mindstorm, which itself is an Asteroids clone. This makes complete sense as Asteroids is one of those games that this system was made for. Here, in all its vector glory, is the Asteroids game we always wanted. For the 2 people left in the world that don't know what Asteroids is, you play as a small spaceship surrounded by a field of rocks. Collision with anything will result in your ship being destroyed and you losing a life. To defend yourself, you have a blaster that you can use to destroy rocks. When shot, large rocks will break down into smaller ones, making the playfield more and more dangerous. Clearing all the rocks advances you to the next round, which will be faster and more challenging. Periodically, flying saucers will enter the field and shoot at you for added pressure. Especially nice here is that due to the setup of the Vectrex controller, rotating your ship isn't done with a joystick, but rather the 1 and 2 buttons. This better reflects the arcade. Button 4 activates your thrust, and button 3 fires your blasters. You also have a hyperspace ability, which when you're in a pinch, you can pull back on the joystick and you'll transport to a new spot on the screen. Only use this as a Hail Mary though, as you have no control where you go, and you could be warped directly into an asteroid. At the top left is your lives, and at the top right is your score. Play until you lose all of your lives, and then it's game over. And that's Rockeroids. It's awesome. Maybe it's just the nostalgia speaking, but I prefer it to Mindstorm. There's nothing special here, aside from the fact that it's incredibly well executed. If you're a fan of a good no-frills Asteroids experience, you'll love it. Alright, on to game 2, More Invaders. This isn't the first Space Invaders game that I've reviewed for the Vectrex, but it does take a very different approach. In Yassi, every effort was made to make it a perfect match to the arcade. Here, the core gameplay is intact, but several changes have been made. Some for convenience, I'm sure, but there's at least one that was done to alter the gameplay. You play as the laser base at the bottom of the screen, and your goal is to eliminate all the invaders before they reach you. They move side to side in columns, moving closer to you each time they hit the edge. They shoot back, but you can duck their shots by hiding behind the bunkers for some protection. If a bunker gets shot too much, it'll be destroyed, but they're good for a little break from the onslaught, should you need it. Unlike the arcade, these bunkers just get dimmer and dimmer as they deteriorate. Also, very clearly, all the alien sprites have been replaced with Vs. An added dimension here is that starting in level 2, when you shoot a V, it sometimes splits into 2 small Vs that then need to be shot in turn. A nice little added twist to the classic gameplay. You still have the bonus mothership that flies overhead, as well as your remaining lives and score beneath the playfield. Use the 1 and 2 buttons to move back and forth, and press the 4 button to fire. More Invaders is a solid Space Invaders clone. It may look different, but I like it a lot, especially with the added fun of the splitting aliens. 2 down, 2 to go. Next up is Vectrex. It shouldn't surprise anyone that Vectrex is a clone of Tetris. Like the other games we've looked at so far, this is a pretty no-frills version of the classic game, with all blocks being composed of the same squares, but it gets the job done. At the top left of the screen, a shape lets you know what block is coming next, and at the top right, the amount of lines you've cleared. In this game, the joystick moves your piece, and the 3 and 4 buttons rotate it counterclockwise and clockwise, respectively. Pulling down on the joystick drops a piece in its current position, for those wanting to speed things up. Pressing button 2 pauses the game, and it's here that you can view your score. Each line you clear gives you 100 points, but if you manage to clear 4 lines with one piece, you'll be awarded 1,000 points. When the bricks reach the top of the screen, it's game over and time to give it another go. Vectrex is probably the most bare-bones game in this collection, being pretty plain to look at. But the gameplay is smooth, and it certainly scratches that Tetris itch. No complaints, but no high praise either. Time for the last game here, Spike's Water Balloons. Spike's Water Balloons is the Vectrex's take on the famous Mad Bomber genre of paddle games, such as Avalanche, Kaboom, and Egomania. You play as Spike at the bottom of the screen, and your goal is to pop all the balloons being dropped with the spikes on the top of your head. If you miss one and it hits the ground, you lose a life. In this game, you move Spike with the joystick, and buttons 1, 2, and 3 control how fast he moves. If you just slightly miss a balloon, there's still an opportunity to save yourself. Pressing 4 makes Spike kick, and if you're lucky, you can kick a balloon back to the top of the screen before it hits the ground. Easier said than done, but at least there's hope. At the very top is your score, which is the amount of balloons you've popped, and under that is your remaining lives. Play until you lose all of your lives. Spike's Water Balloons could certainly benefit from a proper paddle, but it's very competent in its execution, and the addition of the ability to kick is great, even if I always forget to use it. A great little time waster. And that's all good things for the Vectrex. What did I think overall? It's quite impressive for such an early homebrew. As much as it pains me to say it, this game is already almost 30 years old, and I think it stands up even today. Now granted, I wasn't able to find the bonus puzzle game on here, but even without it, I think this is great value. Especially if you're just getting into Vectrex Homebrew, this is a solid compilation of classic games that look good and play well. I recommend it. Thank you for watching my video, I hope you liked it, and thank you so much to my channel members. I appreciate the support so much. As always, my contact info is in the description, and we'll see you next time on Mike's Gaming Gala.